Welcome back everyone, Mike Impolgato here with the second session for our course, How Building Relationships Will Help You to Become a Successful Learner in Big Learning Communities. So in the first session, we covered the big chunk of our course, which was why you should do this, why building relationships while you're learning, while you're joining the learning community is so important and will help you to go through your learning journey. And building those relationships not only with teachers, right, but also with other learners, right? So we covered all that, and I hope you have a conceptual understanding, what is it for? And during today's session, we are going to focus on how to do this. So what are the relationships that I need to form, right, within the learning community in order to be successful, right? How do I do that, right? So I created 3 different types of relationship that every successful learner should have, okay? And that works for any given learning environment, okay? It can be inside a classroom, inside a big school, inside a college, inside a university, inside online courses, inside out different workshops that you're joining, right? This will be one of your jobs every single time you go and try to learn something, right? Within the bigger learning community. So we got 3 types of relationships that we need to form. And that can be just one person for each of this, or can be more. It's up to you. But you should have at least one person from this department, and this department, okay? And sometimes the cool thing about it is that one person can be more than one, okay? So let's see. The first type of the relationship we're forming is companion. Companion is nobody else than your material for the best friend, BF, right? Why do you need that in your learning environment? Because the BF, the companion, will help you with your social, emotional challenges, okay? So what I call it RCR help, okay? And that's nothing else than resilience, confidence, and resistance. So let's say within online learning community, I'm joining a big group of people, right? Like 20,000 people, and I don't know any of them unless I came with my friend already, which is also a good idea. But let's say I didn't, right? I came there, don't know anyone beside the teachers because I came there because I like the teachers, right? So I joined the community, and what happens? Well, there's a lot of stuff happening, everybody's talking about something, you know, they're socializing, these guys are already like, yeah, we win, oh, I did this, I did that, oh, this didn't work for me. So you have all these things, right? And you're like a little bit confused, you're thinking, you're that Johnny, right, from our first story. So as a Johnny, I'm thinking, oh my God, like I don't know who I talk to, you know, I have some problems. I was thinking about doing this, but you know, like nobody's asking anything like it. Is it okay for me to ask this? Is it like, or am I going to be looking like a dumb person, right? So I don't want to ask in the big group anything, right? I have my personal issues, right? I'm shy maybe. I don't want to go to the whole group and ask stuff, right? So I would try to cope on my own, but then if I cope on my own, and all these problems, right, all these emotions are pulling me apart, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I think I can't do it, right? And then I just drop out, right? But if you have one friend in this community, you find a friend, right, who is very similar to you in a sense of background situation, right? Like comes from, let's say, the same environment, or has the same financial situation as you, or also have family, or don't have a family, right? Is single and is looking for some other thing. So for every single person, you're going to be looking for a different type of friend, because within the learning community, big learning community, most of these people will not be material for your best friend, but you will probably find somebody who can be your friend outside of the learning community, right? That's what the best friend is. The best friend is not a person who is just learning with you, is a person who has this learning thing in common with you, but other than that, you are building your other things with this friend, like other interests, right? You have similar problems. You can help each other emotionally, socially. You understand each other because you have the same type of situation. You got it? Right? So this is a best friend. And you can either come with your best friend to the learning community already, or find one within the community. Later on, when we're going to get to what, right? What exactly you need to do, I'll show you how you can find that friend, okay? But for now, just how, right? And that friend is building your resilience, building your confidence, and building your resistance, right? Within this learning community. So all of a sudden, you are not afraid to ask questions, in a big community. All of a sudden, you are more confident in what you're doing. Even if it's not working the right way, you still are willing to share your losses, your wins, your journey, right? Before, you was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want them, to think about me this and this and that. But now, all of a sudden, you have this friend, and that friend gave you the confirmation, no, man, I also had this. And I've seen, others are, look, they're sharing this, they're sharing that. It's okay. And even if somebody will say something, it's still not going to do anything to you, right? So you're building resistance as well, right? You're not bothered with some naysayers or some, bullies, for example. I'm not saying that in your course you can have them, but in the classroom or in a school, you might have those people too, right? So that friend is helping you with that. Then the second part of relationship you need to form as a learner is you need to find a partner, okay? A partner is a learning body, all right? So the difference between these two is that the learning body is basically a person who you are learning the best with, okay? It doesn't have to have all these things in common with you, like your BF, but your LB, learning body, needs to have the same approach to learning as you have. Right? So for example, the same amount of time that you have for learning, or the same time during the day when you are free, this partner is also free, right? So in this case, you can actually learn together in the same time, right? So when you have some questions, or when you're going through something and something is not super clear, you talk to your partner and you do it together, right? And then that gives you a new perspective, looking at something, right? Something, for one person, some things might be complicated, and for the other person, they'll be super, super easy, right? And just talking to each other, just pick, oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, you're right. So it's a different perspective of looking at a certain problem might just give you an epiphany, just like that. Oh, yeah, you're right, okay? So when it comes to the learning community, like online learning community, for example. So, by the way, so these partners, they're providing academic help, right? They're going through your learning journey together with you. You should start and finish this journey together, right? And the three most important things that these kind of people will help you with is, or one person, right? It's not about the amount of people you're learning with. It's just one, but a good one, okay? Comprehension, application, and commitment. CAC help, okay? So comprehension, I just mentioned that, different perspective, right? Or just talking to each other already give you a better understanding, right? A better comprehension of the problem, right? Of the material that you're covering, right? Application, when you're alone, guys, it's very difficult to see if you actually understood something, right? Then it's the best next step to do is apply your new knowledge, right? And the best way to apply is to practice with somebody else. You can do it with your family, but in most cases, when somebody is not going through the same process as you're going to, right? Your wife, your kids, or somebody else, they're not in it. They're not in this course. They don't know what you're trying to do, right? So their feedback will be very different, right? But for this person who is actually learning the same thing that you're learning at the moment, he will understand what you're trying to show, right? And what you're trying to apply. I'm not saying that you're implementing here anything. This is just the practice mode. You're applying the knowledge that you've learned, right? And you practice on each other. You and your learning buddy, you're giving each other, the application of the knowledge that you get, right? And then give each other feedback. Oh yeah, actually you got that right. That hook, story, close offer, that you gave me right now was good. I've seen your hook, I've seen your story, I've seen your close, I've seen your offer, right? And then the opposite, right? But if you say this, a story like this, hook, story, offer, or hook, story, close mode to somebody, and they don't know what they have to look for, like what is this? So what do you want from me, right? But this guy, the learner that goes through the process with you, he will know. Oh, you're testing your hook, story, close method. Ah, I get it. Okay, let me see if I can see your hook, if I can see your story, if I can see your close. Okay? And it's awesome. It's a good thing because this is a very quick feedback for you. All right? And you don't have to explain to him what do you want from him, right? What kind of feedback you want, because it can take a lot of time. And then, you're missing the point. All right? So this is how you're getting your help, your academic help from learning buddy, your partner, okay, and you're learning. CAC help. And then finally, the last type of the relationship that we need to form within the learning community is a captain. All right, so the captain is nobody else as role model. Okay, but don't confuse the role model with a teacher. Teachers and people are that are on the top. Those are not those can be your role models if that's exactly what you want to do, but it doesn't mean that it has to be like this. In an IB classroom, for example, teachers in many cases are not role models at all, right? Because that would mean that, for example, most of the students, they want to become teachers in IB schools, for example, which is not the case. Most of them, they don't really want to be teachers, right? So in that case, I cannot, as a teacher in a class, I cannot be a role model for the students. In this sense, right? I can be a role model when it comes to other things. Maybe I have some interest that the students are also interested in. Like, for example, I'm practicing capoeira, right? A Brazilian martial art. If I have students in my class who are also into martial arts, all of a sudden I can become their role model, right? But being a teacher doesn't mean that I'm a role model, right? So you can say in an online course environment, you can have your teachers as role models. For example, you're teaching from Tony Robbins, right? Or Dean Graziosi or whoever else, right? A big person, Russell Brunson, right? And they can be your role models, right? But it's very broad understanding. The role models as a captain, you have to think about it as a captain of your squad, right? Of your, for example, volleyball team or your soccer team, okay? Football team. That kind of stuff. So this role model is not on top of the mountain yet. This role model is just one step in front of you. Like, you have to follow this person because this person is doing exactly what you want to do, right? And this person already went through another 3 steps or went out this rope a little bit further, right? Up, and can tell you, okay, look, be careful, there will be this, there will be that. Don't do this, don't do that. That's going to be the fastest way for you to go from here to here, okay? So that's the role model. You have to understand this, okay? You have to find a role model that's just one chapter away from you, okay? A captain of your little squad over here, okay? And like I said, can be one person or can be many people, right? But not too many, all right? It's the same, this saying that if there's 6 chefs, there is nothing to eat, right? So just focus on one first. When you have one, then you can actually expand because maybe you want to, diversify your path, your individual path, right? So this role model will help you with the personal growth, right? Personal growth. which I call VIP help. All right? And what that is he will help you, or she, with the vision, with the implementing, and with planning. All right? Vision, the teacher is also helping with the vision, but that's the general plan, right? For example, let's say if we are in an online course, right, like Knowledge Business Blueprint, right? And they are teaching you in general how to deliver mastermind class, but they're not teaching you how to deliver mastermind class on hair product or on something else. They're just teaching you the general thing, and so that's the general vision. But then if you are in the specific niche, right, then you have to find a role model from that niche and follow that person. See what this person actually did as a next step, right? So this will help you clarify your vision and set up goals, right? Certain goals on certain levels of this learning journey, okay? And then the next one will be the role model will also help you implement that, right? So once you learn something, you will know what to do, right? And then you will learn something and you will see how this person did that for their business, right? Or for their, that's a role model for a reason, right? Because he's already working in this business, right? So you see what he did and you can model that, right? Role model the person in front of you, right? So implementation is a little bit more than application, right? Because at this point, you're already implementing the stuff that you will be selling, providing, and doing in the future, right? And then finally, planning, right? So you will also, this is a little bit related with what I said over here, the vision. So vision is good, right? But then you have to have a plan, step-by-step instruction, a roadmap, right? That will show you, okay, now that if you are here, right? For example, okay, you already know how to make your landing page, right? Let's say you're learning about how to provide an online course, right? So you're creating your landing page when people be coming and seeing what you have to offer, right? So they have to opt in, right? And then they tell you, okay, so now you have to focus on your, for example, video, because you're gonna put a video in that landing page, and that video needs to have this and that, right? And then you might have a lot of this information from the teacher, but then how to do that video in your business, right? In what you want to do. For that, you have to go to other learners, right? Who are doing exactly that, right? And they tell you, you know what? In my, for example, business, I'm in education, right? I'm in high school education and college education, and I'm trying to help students to make the best possible education decisions, right? So what I need to do, I need to find people who are actually doing just that, right? I can find them within this community, learner community that is here, right? And that could be, for example, I could just send information there and ask if somebody's doing the same thing. But if I don't have it, the role model don't have to come from this particular learning community. You can go outside of this community and find this role model somewhere else. Okay, so in the school, for example, we would reach to some experts from outside of the school. If students are interested in something that we don't have in the school, we don't have experts on this, but there's a lot of students who want to learn that. We go outside of the school, we find a person, right? Bring the person to the class and the person is shared. You can do the same thing here. So what I did, for example, I went outside of my online course that I was taking, right? And then I see I need to find all the counselors, right? The college counselors, because those are the guys who are actually advising students what to do next, right? And then I have to find the right counselors, not only the kind that are just sending students to colleges just to fill the rubrics. No, I want counselors that are, thinking outside of the box, right? So I have to find a very specific counselors. Okay, and so on. I went there and I started to look for these counselors. I actually found some within the community that I was learning as well, right? So that worked for me perfectly because I knew what to do next. right? And so with this team of people, okay, with a captain, with a partner, and with a companion, best friend, learning buddy, and role model, you are equipped with everything you need to succeed in your learning journey. So you will be able to go all the way to the top of that mountain and you won't fall down, all right? And you will have extra help on the way, okay? So it's awesome thing to have this, because not only they will help you to reach to the top of the mountain, but also these relationships, they're staying for good, right? So once you finish, once you're on top of the mountain, then you can say to these guys, hey, you know what? I want to do this, this, and this, right? I'm going to start this course right now for high school students, and I'm going to need somebody who will help me provide this course on the ground, right? In different areas around the world, right? Because I need to talk to these students. I know that there are schools out there here, and I have a list of the schools, but I can't be everywhere. And I need those people to help me, right? So I'm reaching to my learning buddies, I'm reaching to my best friends, and they are already asking me, helping me to spread the news, right? So they're bringing traffic to me, right? And then I can convert that traffic into my clients, all right? And in many cases, these learning buddies, they're actually becoming partners in your business later on. Same thing with role models. Like you follow these role models for a reason, because they're already in a business that you want to do, right? So once you have something, you've learned everything you need to know, you have some potential right now, you have time, most of all, and you go to these role models and you say, you know what, guys? You are doing an awesome job. You helped me so much. And now I have this offer, and I can take some of the things that you are already doing and promote that to my clients, right? And this person, that role model, is becoming your partner and business partner as well, right? So you're joining forces, and it's so much easier to apply that knowledge that you've learned later on. Right? So you have a smooth transition from the learning mode to application mode, right? So that would be all for the second session today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the way I presented it today. So the last session that will still happen will be about what, right? So now we already know why we do this. We know how it's organized, how is it helping, right? All these different relationships. And now the last bit is just what. So the what will be a little bit different for different learning environments, right? For the online environment will be different, for the school environment it will be different, and for workshops like offline workshops outside of the big institutions also be different, right? So depending on which learning community you are part of, this why will have to be a little bit different for you. And I can help you with all different kind of environments, to be honest, because I did have experience in all of them as a learner and as a teacher. So thanks guys for listening. Drop me some comments below if you still need any extra help or any extra explanation, right? If some of it is not clear. And I'll be seeing you on our last video when we will discuss what to do in order to get those 3 people. Have a wonderful day. It was Mike Impolgato from the bottom of my heart to yours. Thank you.